Captain by a hook with a red beard. Captain by a hook with a red beard.
Oh, baby. Back like I never left. Took a little Mardi Gras break. Gonna do the show without headphones today. Feels weird. Already feels weird. Like something's missing. Forgot to put this back. Just give me a second. We're gonna have some fun with it. Live on the air. Okay. Orange and green ain't bad, but let's get back to the classic. The classic. Orange and white. Yes, sir. Now we rolling. Madness. Madness around the corner. Madness on the brain. Happy delayed Mardi Gras and happy belated Valentine's Day to you and yours. Your love. Your missus. Or your mister. Hey, sure there's some women that's watching. Some women that's wagering. Letting the bets fly, as they say. Today, not gonna lie to you, coming off of a week bender. Gonna recap everything, catch up on some of the stuff that we missed. For instance, San Diego State holding Colorado State to 11 second half points. Scurry. Absolutely scurry. What happened? Syracuse, the Orangemen, juicing them, baby. Taking down UNC. That money line was beautiful for me on Tuesday. Marquette handled business. Dayton handled business. How about Duke covering by a hook on Monday? Get to all of that and more. Also, going to touch on and break down the bracket if it ended today. Figure out the final four that I would come up with as of now. Still a few discrepancies I have with this bracket, but there's some big games tonight that could make things right. I can't believe what happened to Memphis. I mean, literally playing their way out of the tournament. I still think Memphis would be a dangerous team if they get in the tournament. Right now, that is a huge if. Doesn't even look like they are first four or next four. Oh, I'm gonna take, excuse me, gonna take a look at Memphis's schedule for sure because I don't think they have any more. It is weird not having my headphones in. I don't think they have too many more quad one chances to prove themselves. Sorry, I gotta get the her out of the way. All right, now we back, baby, like we never left. Pirate chain swinging, captain by a hook. You feel me? Had to throw the Pirates hat on with it. Since I've wore these 5-0 this week, so definitely just jinxed it. Knock on some wood. Got 4 bets for you later on tonight. Again, we'll dive into college hoops. A lot of it, a lot of it. This is Captain by a hook with the red beard, presented by Stare Down Sports. I am Rowan Donaghy, aka Rowan Dobbs, going live on a beautiful Thursday. This is the 299th episode. Kind of planned this a little wrong, but didn't really plan this at all. Tomorrow will be the 300th episode. Just trying to time it up to where 300 would be on a Monday. Anyway, it's an amazing Tuesday, the 15th. It's Thursday, the 15th of February, the 46th day of the year. It is 56 degrees and slowly. I got to bear with me. This might be the worst show I ever did. Maybe not. A few more sips of this coffee. Oh, wake me up now, baby. All right, Memphis, baby. 18-6. I'm just gonna start off with the braggatology. I really don't care about recapping the last 3-4 days. Although it's been an amazing last 3-4 days. We saw Tennessee dominate Arkansas. Tennessee's looking like the man with the damn plan. You can believe that. Auburn handled business against South Carolina last night. It's looking like it's going to be Auburn, Alabama, and Tennessee racing to the finish of the SEC championships. But wait, Kentucky only a game or two behind. See what the hell happens with those Wildcats. I got a few tickets. If you remember at the beginning of the show, New Mexico to win the Mount West, and Kentucky to win SEC. And then Memphis, of course, to win their conference. Three of my favorite bets, three of the first bets I gave out, three of the first bets that I placed. I did do a little double downing, although I'm not proud of it. Double down on Colorado State before the San Diego State game in hopes that they won that game and plus 950 would drop to 400 and I'd have a great number. But instead, I am double down on a team that only scored 11 points in the whole entire half after being up at the half. But hey, and I'll get to that in a minute. Let me write this down. San Diego State. I don't want to forget about my dogs over there at San Diego State. Been one of my favorite programs the last 6-7 years. Last year, of course, we saw the success that they had. Um, Getting off track. Also doubled down on Kentucky the other night at plus 6,000. Hey, you got a ticket at plus 500. You look up, they're a game and a half, 2 games back. Maybe. Just maybe. I dove deep into the schedules. Um, Alabama has the easiest out of the SEC teams. Tennessee has an absolute gauntlet the last 4 games. Believe it's South Carolina, Kentucky, Bama, Auburn. Could be wrong. I looked at all of their schedules within 4 or 5 minutes of each other. But I saw Kentucky had the home court against Alabama. Had the home court. I felt like they had the easiest schedule to get things diggity done. So I did double down plus 6,000. I'm not saying it's the greatest thing. Tennessee and Auburn last night showed me. And I'm sure Alabama will keep on keeping on. But back to Memphis, man. Not even in the tournament right now. 18-6 on the season. 3-2 in quad one. And then 2-2 in quad two. Only 7-4 in conference play. Would you believe me if this team was 15-2 going into January 15th, exactly 1 month away from today? They're now 18-6. So over the last month, they go 3-3, 3-4. I mean, they got to get right, and they got to get right fast. They have zero chances. I mean, you have North Texas tonight, which is a bubble team at best. Might be a quad one. I mean, they might be a quad one. And then you got SMU. And then luckily, you got 2 games against Florida Atlantic. Unluckily, you got to win both. I mean, you got to win out. Honestly. Sheesh. They're projected to go 21-10, which means they're gonna go 3-4 these last 7 games. It's just heartbreaking. If that happens and they miss this tournament, this team was, I mean, as y'all heard, I screamed it from the rooftops. Excuse me. One of my Final Four teams, along with Kentucky, who's fallen off, along with North Carolina, who's can't really say they're falling off, and then of course you got UConn looking like the best team in the damn country. Some big games tonight for some of these teams. You got Gonzaga; they're in the first 4 out. I forget who they play. Check my bets. A little foreshadowing going on here on Captain by a hook. Loyola Marymount. Sheesh. Gababi. Sheesh Gababo. Let's take a look at these first 4 matchups. Pretty good matchups. You got Southern and Eastern Kentucky. Shout out to Southern. Louisiana school, if you didn't know. Getting in the mix. Then you got the Mississippi taking on New Mexico for a battle of the 11 seeds. I think New Mexico is better than this. I think they should be in it automatically, not have to play in this first 4. However, I'd be scared of this New Mexico team no matter what happens. I'll bet them no matter what against Old Mississippi. Up to a certain number, of course. 4.5, 6.5, around that range, just off the top of my head. New Mexico and Old Miss end up playing a month from now. We're around that time, baby. Middle of February. You got about a month left for these teams to prove something, for these teams to do what the hell they gonna do. I don't know, man. Do you play for spots in the tournament? I've never heard of it, but I feel like it needs to become a thing, but maybe it'll just ruin it. Michigan State, they have a few good wins. Now they're a 9 seed. They'll be playing Virginia in the first round, and if they win that, here's UConn, baby. Do they want to lose a little bit? Maybe drop down to a 10 seed? I'd rather play the number 2. Well, it's North Carolina, but man, we might have one of the best. I see. I hate that they did that. Now North Carolina and UConn is Elite 8 if they make it, of course. But I'd rather see them in the Final Four together. But anyway, back to the first 4 games. You got North Carolina Central and Merrimack. Let's go, baby. Just got to say their name, Merrimack. I definitely could see teams like Seton Hall, Gonzaga jumping into this mix and stealing 1 or 2 of these spots. You still got Villanova, Providence, Colorado, and St. John's all trying to get in the mix as well. Colorado, they got a game tonight. I'm betting that they lose, but it would be a nice story to see Colorado get in there. They were honed as having the best offense in the Pac-12 coming into the season, and it has been everything but that. But let's jump into this bracket real quick as if the tournament started today. Purdue, the number 1 seed, taking on Eastern Kentucky or Southern. Let's just move Purdue. Florida, Washington State. Anybody you put there, I think, loses to Purdue. I think Florida. Can't believe they're an 8th seed. That's see, I don't think that the bracketology people have bias. They definitely have regency bias, if that makes any sense. Memphis and Florida, the same damn season. Only difference is, of course, the competition in the conference. And Florida struggled through non-conference. And now they're decent, above 500 in conference play. Oh, that was ugly. Whereas Memphis balled out non-conference and now in conference schedule stinks. It's kind of regency, but I don't think Florida should be an 8 seed. Definitely think Washington State could beat them. That's a scary team coming out of the Pac-12. But I'm just going to advance Purdue. I'm gonna advance them past both of those teams. I think Purdue's ready this year to make a real run. I think they're mentally prepared. All right, let's at least get to the Sweet 16. I'm gonna put Purdue in the Sweet 16 under them over in Spokane. Now this is a great set of games. You got San Diego State, who I want to talk about here in a second, and McNeese State. I might take this chance right now to talk about San Diego State. A little bit of I'll just do it. No point of trying to explain. I always hate picking teams that made a run the season before to make another run. It just rarely, historically, works out. You look at the Texas Tech team of 2019, haven't seen Texas Tech make a run since. San Diego State, however, and UConn. I hate picking teams to go back to back. And all year, that's what held me up on UConn. And now I feel like I missed out on a great number. They went from plus 1,500, plus 1,600. Now they're around plus 700. And I'm really thinking they're the best team in the damn country, and they're about to go back to back. But I hate picking teams to go back to back. Rarely happens in the tournament. And I hate picking teams that made a run. Florida Atlantic, FDU, Fairleigh Dickinson, San Diego State. Teams like that. It's hard to become a Cinderella twice in a row. I guess at some point you turn into Gonzaga where you're just there and it's not a Cinderella story anymore for at least a decade. Maybe that's what happens with San Diego State. I mean, I've been watching this program for a decade now closely. I've fallen in love with this program. Steve Fisher was the coach. I love what he did with this program. I love what the cat that took over for him's doing with the program. Sorry, I found a pimple or bump or something. But he'll have to face Will Wade in McNeese State. I'm not calling this an upset, but anybody McNeese State plays, I'll be interested in taking the points. For the sake of this, I'm going to move on. San Diego State. You got Dayton, Akron. That's going to be prime time basketball, baby. Prime time basketball. I'm going to move Dayton, and then we're going to have an amazing game between Dayton and San Diego State. I think ultimately the defense of San Diego State gets them back to the Sweet 16. Now there we have a matchup. San Diego State taking on Purdue in the Sweet 16. I'd have to do it, and I'd hate to do, but I'm betting San Diego State there against Purdue-ski. Again, this is how the tournament is as of Tuesday. Probably not going to see these matchups specifically. But if we get San Diego State versus Purdue, I'm taking San Diego State. Uh, it's just how the wind blows. So we got San Diego State, the Elite Eight. See, it's hard not to. But you think they're really gonna duplicate? I don't know. We'll find out. Florida Atlantic taking on New Mexico or Old Miss. I'm guessing it'll be New Mexico. Give me New Mexico to upset Florida Atlantic. I think these teams are built the same, and I think New Mexico is that much better. I think they're the better team. I think they'll come in and rout Florida Atlantic. Then you got Iowa State and Eastern Washington. Iowa State is an underrated team. Think they'll get through this first round against Eastern Washington. But if Eastern Washington gets hot, that's one of those teams that can shoot it and shoot it out the gym. That's one of those teams that nobody expects. And then all of a sudden they drop 90 and there's just highlights of young men jacking threes and wetting them. Was about to use the color of their skin against them. Young white boy shooting that thing. I think Iowa State. I'm gonna put them in there for the sake of this. I got New Mexico beating whoever. Mexico, oh, Sweet 16 bound, baby. Utah State and Butler. Butler should not be a 10 seed. Butler should not be a 10 seed. See, that's what the hell are we doing? That's where Memphis should be. I know they've been bad, but Memphis should still be in this thing, and Memphis should still be a 10 seed, and that's where they should be. Should be Utah State and Memphis. Butler's getting blown out this game, and then Tennessee is going to handle Troy easily. Give me Tennessee, Utah State for an instant classic in the second round. I'm going to take Tennessee barely, barely going to the Sweet 16, and I hate to do it. Usually I fade Rick Barnes at all costs. So we got San Diego State in the Elite Eight. Then we got New Mexico, Tennessee. I'm gonna put. Oh, how can you do it? How can you end up with two Mountain West teams? It's got to be Tennessee, right? It's just got to be, right? I think New Mexico. I'd take the points with them. I don't know if they win, but I'd take the +6. I'd take the +5, whatever. +7, it would be a dandy. I would bet New Mexico and probably win on the cover. But I'm gonna give Tennessee the edge. Tennessee and San Diego State lead 8. Absolutely classic right there. Jump over to the right side real quick in Boston, baby. We're gonna have UConn, of course. I'm just gonna move them over South Dakota State. Virginia, Michigan State is going to be a dandy. I don't know who wins that one. My fanhood and allegiance is with Michigan State, of course. I'd take them over Virginia, but I've been harping and hooting and rooting for Virginia all season. Um, the thing about both of these teams is they both could show up and drop 45 points, or they both could show up and drop 85 points. And you don't know what you're getting until you get it. I'm gonna move Michigan State just for fun. I think they do have the best chance to beat UConn. I don't think it happens. Give UConn the push. South Carolina and Yale. Watch out for Yale in that one. I'm gonna move South Carolina across just for the sake of this, but I wouldn't be surprised if Yale beat them outright. I would definitely take the points with Yale. South Carolina has not been here. They don't know what it feels like when someone's watching you. I've seen Yale cover +6 with ease the first round of every tournament, basically last decade. South Florida, Baylor. That's the type of game a kid like me dreams about. I'm gonna give Baylor the push. I'm gonna push Baylor across over South Carolina or Yale. Also, you got Baylor and UConn. That's a good one right there in the Sweet 16. Oklahoma over Indiana State. I hate Indiana State. Maybe because the hype is. I'm used to the hype coming in March. All of a sudden, we're hyping kids up in January and February about how this team's going to have a March run. Nobody knows that. You can't call the Cinderella in January. Oh, this is going to be the Cinderella team right here. It's just not how it works. Because of that, I think Indiana State's going to lose in the first round. However, they play the weakest team in this tournament, which is Oklahoma. Oklahoma should not be a 6 seed. This is another team. I think Memphis should be in a buff. Call me crazy. At least you call it. Give me Indiana State. They'll beat Oklahoma for sure. Anybody else, Indiana State's going down. Auburn, Vermont. Vermont's going to keep it close till about the last 8 minutes. Auburn's just going to pull away with it. Give me Auburn beating Indiana State or Oklahoma. Down in Charlotte, baby, you got Texas Tech taking on Boise State. Give me Mount West, people. Give me Mount West to roll. North Carolina at the 2 seed. Think they come out of there. They'll take on Colgate, which is a scary team. And then I think they beat Boise State. And then you got Auburn, North Carolina, UConn, Baylor. Those are matchups that we dream about. And if we get those matchups, let's say I'm just gonna do this off the top of my head, kind of guesstimate. Yeah, I'd give UConn 3.5, 4.5 against Baylor. Might get bet down to 2.5. I'd take UConn and the points. Anything up to 5, pretty much. I think they win it by around 5, 6, maybe. I think it'll be a tough one. And then you got North Carolina and Auburn. I feel like it'll be North Carolina about the same, -3.5, -4. I don't know. I gotta go North Carolina just because North Carolina, UConn are two of my favorite teams this season. Not as a fan, as a analyst, as a better, whatever. Cashmere sweater. Um, so boom, we got North Carolina and UConn. Over here we got San Diego State, Tennessee. I'm just gonna do it, man. UConn beat North Carolina earlier in the season. I think that's where they get bit, man. Give me North Carolina. Give me Tennessee. Two Final Four teams. Oh my God, I hate to do it. Man, San Diego State, they held a team to 11 points the other night. Like they had the defense to make this run. I'm just gonna put Tennessee in there. Dalton Chinette drops 40 on them. I just can't stand Tennessee, but I love them, man. Arizona, baby, moving down. Gonna run through this one a little quicker. Arizona, they'll be taking on Merrimack or North Carolina Central. I'm gonna move Arizona here. Then you got Texas and Mississippi State. I'm gonna put Texas. I think Texas does have a chance to beat Arizona. That's a tough one. I'd take Texas plus the 7, plus the 6. I'm gonna move Texas just for this sake argument. I've seen Arizona lose too many games this year that they shouldn't have for me to believe in them. Give me Texas. Moving on to the Sweet 16. BYU and Samford, baby. Give me BYU holding it down, and then you got UC Irvine taking on Wisconsin. Boy, oh boy, this is the games you don't give a damn about. I wouldn't watch either of these games if I had the choice. I mean, I'm gonna have the madness on 4 TVs and watch every game, but these are going to be the ones I care about the least. Give me Wisconsin and BYU to battle it out in the round of 32. Who cares who gets to the Sweet 16? I'd put BYU just because Wisconsin not going to show up. Maybe they show up. We could put Wisconsin. I got whoever losing to Texas. Texas is in the Elite Eight. Now that's crazy. Clemson, they'll be taking on Nevada or Utah. I'd take Nevada or Utah in that game to upset Clemson. I don't like the 6 seeds this year, really. I believe. Yeah, I got Florida Atlantic losing, got Oklahoma losing, now Clemson. I got them losing first round. Then you got Alabama, Morehead State. I think Alabama gets through that. Um, I can see Alabama beating Nevada and Utah. And then you'd have Colorado State and Nebraska. Nebraska? Hell no. 10 seed? Hell no. Memphis should be right there too, man. Butler, Nebraska. I forgot who the hell else I said. Oklahoma. Get them out of here. Colorado State wins that one. Kansas wins that. Kansas beats Colorado State. Ugh. Bad taste in my mouth. Kansas, think they fall in the Sweet 16 to Alabama. And now you got Alabama, Texas. I don't like how this is going at all. Alabama, huh? End up in the Final Four. I just can't see it. That's who I end up with. Houston, number 1 seed, taking on Sam Houston State. Give me Houston by 100. St. Mary's, Northwestern. That's going to be a battle of the point guards. Give me Northwestern to crawl away with that one. Northwestern, Houston. I think it'll be closer than people think. I'd take Northwestern plus the points, but I expect Houston to win. So Houston will be in the Sweet 16. You got Creighton and Rich. What? Richmond. Don't know how the hell they're a 12 seed either. But hey, who the hell am I at this point, huh? I'm just down for the ride. Richmond, Creighton. Sheesh. I'd love for them Richmond Spiders to upset Creighton. I mean, absolutely. Love it. If you don't know me, I've been screaming Richmond. Rich what? A Richmond. As long as I can remember. Don't know anybody on the team, don't know the coach, but I just love saying Richmond. Rich what? You get it. Illinois, UNC Dub. Give me Illinois to beat Richmond or Creighton in that next round. So we got Illinois and Houston. That's a Sweet 16 matchup, huh? 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 Can't wait for that one. Kentucky, Grand Canyon. Oh my boy, oh boy. Love Grand Canyon. Love Kentucky. I'm gonna do Duke High Point. I think High Point has a chance to dance and a chance to upset Duke. Um, Everything I have to go right for them. But they're playing Duke, which means everything could go right for them because Duke is the kind of team that everything can go wrong for Duke. Trust me, everything can go wrong for Duke. But I'm gonna just put Duke ahead. I think if they play this game 100 times, High Point wins 20, maybe even less than that. So let me get Duke. Uh, F it. We're gonna go Duke, Kentucky. That's the second round matchup we dream of. Texas A&M, TCU. Give me who gives a damn. They both lose to Marquette. I got Marquette now. Damn, Duke and Kentucky, huh? I'd have to go Kentucky. I think Kentucky's going to show up in the tournament. At least I hope Kentucky shows up in the tournament. I mean, Duke does have the experience, though. They got a lot of 2-year, 3-year, 4-year players. Kentucky is still some babies. I think that's ultimately hurt Kentucky. For a few years, it was one and done was the trend. And the last couple of seasons, 6, 7 seasons, it's not necessarily the one and dones who are winning. It's the guys who came back for their junior year, the guys who came back for their senior year are the ones ultimately getting the job done. Um, Let me just put Duke. I love Kentucky. Would bet Kentucky against Duke, but I'm gonna put Duke up against Marquette, and I'm gonna have Marquette beating Duke. So we got Marquette against Illinois or Houston. I think Illinois has wets the bed. I think they'll have a chance to win it, and Houston would just somehow win it. So we're going to go Houston Marquette. Now, that's going to be one of the best games of the tournament if we're lucky enough to get that. Um, Man, see, this is how I get how people do it now. You end up with these weird ass teams in the Final Four. Sheesh. I think this is a special year for Marquette. But Houston, man, they have surprised the hell out of me. I'm going to go Houston. Final Four. We got Houston, North Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama. Hate it. Yeah. We'll have some more fun with the bracket next week. Let's preview today's games and then dive into the bets for today's games. Can't believe I ended up with that. Tennessee, Alabama, North Carolina, and Houston. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Anyway, tonight we got a good one in the Big Ten. Rutgers taking on Northwestern. Want to bet Northwestern plus the 3.5. Rutgers has been on a roll. Rutgers defense is one of the best in the country. Rutgers offense is turning on the knob. Just gonna stay away. Might enjoy watching it as a fan. Where we at? Where we at? SMU and Tulane. That'll be a good ass game. Tulane home dogs. If you like home dogs, which this season home dogs has been paying the bills. You can get Tulane at home plus the 2.5. I don't know why the hell you wouldn't. Florida Atlantic, baby. They're holding on to that number 24 ranking. They're taking on Temple. 19.5 point favorites at home. Florida Atlantic just does not get off hot enough starts for me to take the 19.5. I can see them being down 2.5, winning this game by 12. If they were a better first half team this year, I would definitely lay the points with them. What are the big games we got before I dive into the Betterooskies, the Betteroonies, the Betteramas? James Madison minus 13.5 taking on Georgia State. Georgia State. Um, where we at? Where we at? Purdue, baby, minus 16.5 taking on Minnesota. Purdue, absolute powerhouse. Staying away from this line. I don't think Minnesota. I don't know. 16.5. I just don't like Purdue over at 7.5, 8. It's just something about it. I just can't get behind it. Purdue probably wins by 20, but I don't know, man. Don't know. I got other bets that. Damn, this shit just moved against me. I could have waited, got a better number. Holla if you hear me. If you don't hear me, don't holla. Washington State, California, baby. Washington State minus 9.5. I do think they win it, but I think it's more. The number I have for this game is 4.5. 5 point discrepancy. And then you got some late games going down. Utah, USC. Excuse me. I don't see how you don't bet Utah here. USC's just been wetting the bed all conference play. I don't see them getting any better. I don't see it getting any better for USC in the near future. Utah somehow are plus 102 on the money line. Don't know how you don't bet Utah, but I didn't bet them, so what the hell am I talking about? St. Mary's minus 18 in the hook, taking on Pepperdine. Pepperdine? Pepperdine? I wouldn't bet that game either way. I just wanted to say, Pepperdine? Let's get to it, man, so we can get through it if you dig me. If you feel me. I'm gonna start off with some of the late games. Play the horns for the early game. Sorry. Now I'm trying to find it. And I can't believe Merrimack. I mean, they're 9.5 point favorites on the road tonight. Can't believe they're even being thought about as going to the tourney. All right. This is Captain via hook with the red beard. Let's get into these college basketball bets for the evening. The evening. I got some. I kind of brought it back to November. These teams, a lot of these teams, they're getting on a roll and they need to prove something to me. What's better than my dog? Shout out to Rax doing his damn thing up there on the north side of the country, mid east. I don't know, somewhere. Oh damn, get well, my dog. Get well. But the teams I'm betting tonight, teams have been on a roll. This is a proven moment for me. I'm gonna jump back on the train. I jumped off a month ago. I'm jumping back on tonight. We'll see where it takes me. Give me Gonzaga as road favorites. I'm gonna lay the 14.5. They're taking on Loyola Marymount. Since that loss to St. Mary's, I feel like they've woken up a little bit. I feel like Mark Few's finally figured out how to get into this particular group of kids' heads. And when we've heard the statements coming out in January, I mean, this team didn't believe in themselves. Players are quoted as saying, well, I mean, we don't have the guys we used to have. Well, you're on the team, bro. You're calling yourself trash. I think Mark Few's gotten them believing in themselves again. I think they're playing like a cohesive unit again. That he went against Kentucky was huge for me. Watching Gonzaga do that on the road at Kentucky kind of made me look at Kentucky a little different. But Gonzaga, I think they're back rolling. Give me Gonzaga. I'm laying the points with them 14.5 tonight on the road. And this is another team. I told you they'll win 7 or 8 straight on a 5 game winning streak. I'm talking about Mick Cronin and the UCLA mighty Bruins. I got them on the money line at minus 110. Since then, it's moved. You can get plus 102 right now on the money line. UCLA at home on the money line. I mean, in past years, it sounds, why the hell not? This year, I get why people are scared of it. But again, this team's on a 5 game winning streak. I think they win another 2 or 3 straight. Colorado's a team that's kind of streaky. They can get hot, maybe not. You're playing UCLA, who's going to bring the defense no matter what. I think UCLA's defense holds Colorado to around 60, 65, allowing themselves to get the win with about 66 to 70. Give me UCLA in a tight barn burner on the money line. Again, you can get it at plus 102. I got it at minus 110. And then we're going over to the desert, baby. 35th and Thomas, to be exact, down there in Phoenix. Give me the Grand Canyon University. The Lopes, baby. Give me Grand Canyon. They're minus 18 in a hook, taking on Utah Tech. I think Grand Canyon is going to end this season strong. I look for them to win this game by 30, maybe even 40 or 50. We've seen that a lot over this weekend where dominant teams are running into less dominant teams and proving their dominance. Give me Grand Canyon University. That's GCU, baby. Minus 18 in the hook. I think they run away with this one early and keep it on. Some teams they get up by 20 at half and then they end up winning by 9. I think they keep Utah Tech down. If you don't know Utah Tech, only thing I know about Utah Tech is from He Got Game. They was trying to recruit Jesus. Yes, that's the school that had the the two white ones. Rick Fox. Anyway, stop playing around. GCU minus 18.5, Gonzaga minus 14.5, and UCLA on the money line. Those are the 3 plays from me tonight. Now I need somebody, anybody, hit me with the horns. Franklin Earl Beardwinaton with the best bet of the day. Now, I hate to do it, but I gotta do it. Jumping back on this Memphis train. I know. They've been breaking my heart. They've been breaking your heart. They've been breaking their own heart. Give me Memphis, man. Step up tonight. They need to win out if they want to get back in this tournament. This team had too much promise not to get back in this tournament. Give me Memphis tonight in exclamation point style win. I'm on the money line minus 104. They are on the road in Denton, Texas, north of Dallas, taking on North Texas, baby. Give me Memphis minus 104 on the money line. I think they win this one by double digits. Put an exclamation point that they are back. Again, I talked about their schedule earlier. Still got 2 games against Florida Atlantic. I think they need to win both of those. But I think if they win out and split, and their only loss is to Florida Atlantic at Florida Atlantic, maybe they can get back in this damn thing. The only part about playing in a conference that's trash, you don't get a lot of quad 1 wins. Teams in the Big Ten, teams in the SEC, they can go on a 3-4 game win streak, and it's impressive enough to get them in there. I mean, you got Nebraska, who's in there just because of their conference. You got Butler, who's in there just because of their conference. You got Oklahoma, who's in there just because of their conference. All have the same type of resume and type of record as Memphis. They're just doing it in a better conference. So that's going to hurt them. They're fighting an uphill battle. They need to turn it on tonight. Give me Memphis, man. On the money line, best bet of the damn day is Memphis. Thank y'all for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the love, and thank you for the support. This is Captain by a Hook with the Red Beard, presented by Stare Down Sports. I am Rowan Donaghy, aka Rowan Dobbs, going live on a beautiful Thursday, the 15th day of February, the 46th day of the year. A beautiful 57 degrees and cloudy. My kind of weather. Please take all these wagers at your own risk. Please, please gamble responsibly. And Rex, get better soon, my dog. Holla, Dobbs.